You're not doing enough. You should have figured it out by now. Why can't you just be happy? If your mind is your biggest bully, you're not alone, right? But you don't have to stay stuck in that cycle of that negative thinking. That little voice, you do not have to stay stuck with it. The average person has over 6,000 thoughts per day, thousands, and studies suggest that 80% of them are negative. And for high achievers, that inner voice is louder, it's faster, and even more brutal, because the same mind that drives success also magnifies stress, self-doubt, and pressure. So if you have more negative thoughts than positive, then do what I'm about to lay out for you in this episode. So here's a question for you. If your thoughts were a podcast, would you subscribe? If you're like most people, probably not. You see, most of us have internalized our voices that we hear in our mind from our parents, our bosses, or society, and they're telling us that we're perhaps not enough, or that rest equals laziness, or that happiness is only earned once we've achieved something. The problem is, thoughts become our beliefs, and our beliefs start to become our behaviors. And before you know it, your stress and burnout and self-criticism just feels normal. But what if we could shift it? Because we can. I'm living proof that we can shift it. Over a decade ago now, I was really struggling. I was at an all-time low, super scary thoughts, to the point of wanting to end it all. I was ready to check out of this life. And they were dark days that I wouldn't wish upon anyone. And naturally, I needed help at that point. Unfortunately, I got to seek the support that I needed at that time and saw a therapist. And there are many things that clearly I've learned from that time, and also obviously since becoming qualified to help others with this. But one of the key things that really changed the game for me was when my therapist said to me, thoughts are just thoughts. And I know that sounds so simple, but I was just felt like this weight had lifted, because I was buying into these thoughts. I was there with them. I believed every single one of them. And just understanding that they don't have the power that perhaps I thought they had. And I wasn't aware of not only the power that they don't have, but aware of the specifics of the thoughts I was thinking. I wasn't aware of that, so I wasn't able to do anything. But when I was, wow, well, that's when I could start to shift things. So just before I dive in a little bit more in this episode, I just want to mention, if you are experiencing thoughts that were as dark as mine, then please seek help, right? Seek help. No podcast is going to help you resolve everything, right? It will help to signpost you and point you in different directions, which is great. But if you're really having those dark days, do it sooner than later. Quick one, as our long-term audience, you will know that our show has grown a lot over the years, and we're thrilled to share with you that we have our very first sponsor. But please don't worry, we're not going to suddenly bombard you with loads of ads. We just want to take a moment to say a big thank you to Meals on Me, who's not only sponsoring us, but they're also fueling us. Meals on Me is a food meal prep and delivery service who understands that wellness isn't about shortcuts. It's about choosing better every single day. They keep it real with fresh, wholesome meals that fit into your life. For me, when I'm rushing through the day and pushing my limits, Meals on Me powers me on. And the best bit that I find is that there's so much variety and every meal tastes amazing, especially compared to others that we've used in the past. So good nutrition underpins our ability to cope with stress and perform at our highest levels. But it's often an area where most of our clients will struggle. So Meals on Me make it easy, effortless, and enjoyable. So check them out today. A special link for you is in the show notes. Thank you to them, and thank you to you. So here's the thing, most people try to think positively, but forcing positivity over pain is just a bypass, right? It simply doesn't work. The big mistakes are trying to fight your negative thoughts, believing that your thoughts are truth, chasing your achievements like you're trying to outrun your inner critic, right? These things just don't work. Your thoughts are like clouds in the sky. Right? You don't have to hold on to every single one of them. They will continue to pass. What typically happens, and we see this often with clients that we work with, is that, and particularly high achievers, right, high performers, they attach themselves to every thought and they try to fix it by overthinking or overworking or over-efforting, right? And thoughts just are not facts, and they're not things that we can always just figure out, right? They're often just outdated, undistorted thoughts that are driven by unmet needs at a deeper level. And there are many, many things that drive us at a deeper level. And if you want to go into that, by all means do. Check out the episode we did on the 12 hidden causes of burnout in high achievers. You will really, really benefit from that episode. But for now, just know that you don't have to think your way to peace, right? You have to shift your relationship to your thoughts, right? So how do we do that? Well, there's this thing that I teach our clients to do, which we call the Inner T.E.D talk, right? And the T stands for tuning in. We need to catch the thought. What am I saying to myself right now, right? That's not serving me. And the E stands for examine, right? Where did that thought come from? And is it true? Right? So for example, a common thought is, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not enough. Compared to what? What is enough? Whose voice even is this? Right? Take some time to examine. And then the D in our TED Talk model, our inner TED Talk, is to decide. Right? Decide. Do I want to keep thinking this? What would be more helpful? What would a more useful reframe be? Right? Take some time to really explore the answers. You don't need to control every thought. Right? You just need to become the observer of them. Your job is not to even silence the inner critic, but to lead it with compassion and authority. So give your inner TED Talk a go, right? It might be easier to start with one reoccurring negative thought that you might be having, right? So write it down. What is it? What is that recurring negative thought? Is it true? Is it helpful? What does this thought need? What would my wiser self say? If this wasn't a fact and this was me, what would I really say? Take some time. So the key takeaway here is that you're not your thoughts. You're the thinker. High performers don't just eliminate all stress or self-doubt, right? They learn to lead their thoughts instead of being led by them. So if you want to go deeper and find out what could be fueling your thinking, take our scorecard that is 16 questions, takes you 2 minutes to do, and you'll receive personalized insights, and then you can have a chat with one of our team and have an actual game plan. You'll literally have a PDF game plan. You don't need to escape your thoughts. You just need to come home to yourself. I'll see you soon for more practical tools to think, feel, and live like a high performer without the burnout. I'll see you soon.
If you enjoyed this episode and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.
Then share it with a friend who you think might benefit.
Spread the word. That's how we're going to impact the world, by helping each other.
We appreciate you so much, and as always, unconditional love and wellness to you.